Meron naman, sir, owners and drivers of public and private on the implementation of the law contract.
Yun.
Thank you po.
Sumulat ako eh. Sabi nang naka-Amerikana. Hindi ako. Nagmamatigas kasi.
May bisita lang sa Mindanao.
Kausa ng babayaran.
Mindanao.
Sumulat ako. Pinunta ko sila ng nagkaano ko ng monthly. Hindi nagbigay. Sumulat ako. Walang response. Dito na lang tayo. Sige po. Thank you.
Pao, kailan maglalaro, Pao?
General, congressman. Tatlo sila. Ito kami sa Southland. Tatlo sila eh. Wala. Isang mesa.
Dalawa sila eh, dalawang isa eh. No?
Gusto mo na?
Sige po, Madyo.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
He was absent for 2 days.
Okay.
The last time na
Tayo na lapit.
Roll.
Hindi, wala akong itas.
wala ka nga eh. Not the committee.
Wala pa.
Very important.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Thank you. Pati yung mga vice chairman, no?
Present ha. Mamaya kasi meron kaming BOC-BIR one-on-one sa Minority Leader Office. So, nagpapapresent na ako ha. Magsino, Handalmar Magsino. Kailangan wala akong late ha. Complete attendance. Babait ako ha. Present ako. Mamaya may one-on-one ako.
The session is called to order. Please rise for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiging, sa manlulupit, di ka masisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit kong baka, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglay.
please remain standing for a minute of silent prayer. The Secretary General is directed to call the roll of members.
Roll call of members. Honorable Representatives. Abalos. Abante. Abunda. Acharon. Asidre. Acop. Adyong. Advincula. Agaraw. Alba. Albano. Almario. Alonte, Almonte, Alvarez Jose, Alvarez Mercedes, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante, Amatong, Angara, Aquino, Arbison, Arenas, Arrogancia, Asistio, Ataide, Omentado, Balindong, Barba, Barbers, Baronda, Barzaga, Baskub, Bautista, Bautista Lim, Benitez, Bernos, Billones, Biron, Bolilia, Bondok, Bongalon, Bordado, Bosita, Briones, Brosas, Buhain, Bulut Begtang, Bustos, Cabredo, Cagas, Kahayon Uy, Calderon, Calixto, Campos, Kawagdan, Cardema, Cari, Castro Franz, Castro Jean, Celeste, Chan, Chato, Chua, Chungalaw, Ko Angelica Natasha, Ko Elizalde, Ko Pilar, Ko Juanco Jaime, Ko Juanco Mark, Colada, Coliantes, Corvera, Cruz Ambrosio, Cruz Ricardo, Cua, Quaresma, Dagoo, Dalipe, Dalog, Dayanghirang, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, Defensor, Del Mar, De Los Santos, Dimaporo Muhammad Khalid, Dimaporo City Amina, Dionisio, Domingo, Duavit, Duhali, Duterte, D. Faustino Ino, D. Faustino Michael, D. Ian Paul, Ecleo, Emano, Enciso, Enverga, Escudero, Espares, Espina, Estrella, Yudela, Farinas, Fernandez, Ferrer Juliet Marie, Flores, Fortes, Frasco, Fresnedi, Fuentebella, Galeyos, Garcia Albert, Garcia Dante, Garcia Jose Arturo, Garcia Maria Angela, Garcia Pablo Jan, Garcia Vincent, Guardiola, Garin, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Gato, Go Ed Christopher, Go Mark, Goles, Gomez, Gonzaga, Gonzales Aurelio, Gonzales Neptali, Gonzales Sandro, Goriseta, Guico, Gintu, Gulyas, Gutierrez, Hagedorn, Haresco, Hataman, Hernandez, Herrera, Horibata, Javier, Ko Olga Ara, Ko Ricardo, Ko Wilton, Kunghun, Labad-Labad, Lacson, Lacson Noel, Lagman, Lagon Daphne, Lagon Sani, Lara, Lazatin, Lee, Legarda, Libanan, Limkaychong, Loyola, Luistro, Lumayag, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Magsino, Malapitan, Mangawang, Manikis, Manuel, Marañon, Marcoleta, Marcos, Mariano Hernandez, Marinho, Marquez, Martinez, Mastura, Matibag, Matugas, Mendoza, Mercado, Mercado Revilla, Miguel, Momo, Morden, Nava, Nisay, Noel, Nograles Juan Fidel, Nograles Margarita, Nolasco, Uwaminal, Olaso, Olivares, Ongchuan, Ordanes, Ortega, Uwano Dizon, Padiernos, Paduano, Paglas, Palma, Panaligan, Pancho, Panotes, Pascual, Peña, Pimentel, Plaza, Pleito, Primicias Agabas, Pumaren, Puno, Kimbo, Rama, Recto, Regencia, Revilla Brian, Revilla Ramon Jolo, Reyes, Rilio, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez Eulogio, Rodriguez Rufus, Roman, Romero, Romualdez Ferdinand Martin, Romualdez Yeda Marie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Sali, Salimbangon, Salo, Salvame, Santos, Saulu, Silverio, Singson Richel, Singson Ronald, Singson Mihan, Solon, Soriano, Suwan, Swansing Horacio, Swansing Micaela Angela, Suarez, Talyado, Tamayo, Tambunting, Tan Joseph, Tan Keith Micah, Tan Reynolds Michael, Tan Samir, Tan Stephen James, Tan Tambut, Tanchay, Tan Huatco, Tariela, Teodoro, Teves Arnolfo, Teves Jose, Tiangco, Tieng, Tolentino, Tulfo Jocelyn, Tulfo Ralph Wendell, Tupas, Tutor, T, Umali, Unabia, Ungab, Valeriano, Valmayor, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velasco, Veloso Tuazon, Vergara, Versosa, Villa, Villafuerte Luis Raymond, Villafuerte Miguel Luis, Villanueva, Villar, Villaraza Suarez, Villarica, Violago, Yap Christiantel, Yap Christopher Son, Yap Edvic, Yap Eric, Yu Divina Grace, Yu Jazel Victoria, Yulo, Zamora Amparo Maria, Zamora Maria Carmen, Zamora Isabel Maria, Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 309 members responded to the call.
With 309 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the suspension of session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Yes, ma'am.
Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, last July 25, 2022, the Honorable Gloria Macapagal Arroyo of the 2nd District of Pampanga was elected as Senior Deputy Speaker. I move that we allow Senior Deputy Speaker-elect Macapagal Arroyo to take her oath.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. May we request the Honorable Senior Deputy Speaker-elect, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, to proceed to the rostrum with the members of her family for the oath-taking. I will just read. Ma'am, kindly please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo,
Of
the 2nd District of Pampanga,
having been elected to the position of Senior Deputy Speaker
having been elected to the position of Senior Deputy Speaker
of the House of Representatives,
of the House of Representatives,
hereby solemnly swear
hereby solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge,
that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
the duties of my present position,
the duties of my present position,
and all others
and all others
I may hereafter hold
I may hereafter hold
under the Republic of the Philippines,
under the Republic of the Philippines,
that I will support
that I will support
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the Philippines,
that
I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I will obey the laws,
that I will obey the laws,
legal orders,
legal orders,
and decrees promulgated
promulgated
by the duly constituted
by the duly constituted
authorities of the Republic of the Philippines.
authorities of the Republic of the Philippines,
And I impose this obligation upon myself
that I impose this obligation upon
voluntarily,
myself, voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Salamat, Len. Salamat, Ian. Thank you, thank you.
Back Mika, ha?
Picture, picture.
Manix?
Mr. Speaker, in order to allow the members to extend their greetings to Senior Deputy Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, I move that we suspend session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Hindi na pala kailangan.
Stand there.
Oh, let's just stand here.
Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, before we proceed, may we recognize our guests at the gallery, the guests of the gentlemen of the 2nd District of Lanao del Sur, the Honorable Yasser Alonto Balindong, from the Mindanao Development Authority, headed by Secretary Maria Belen Acosta, followed by USEC Janet Lopez, ASEC Romeo Montenegro, Captain Ray Acosta, Lou Jane Bulaklak, Maria Camila Luz Cunanan, Marlo Suyano, April Rose Reyes.
Welcome, Secretary Mabel Acosta of Minda and team. Maayong pag-abot dinhi sa Ubos Balay Balaoranan. She happened to be my former colleague in the Davao City Council. Welcome. Please proceed, Your Honor.
Mr. Speaker, may we also recognize our guests at the gallery, the guests of the Honorable Doris E. Manakis and Kong Sandro L. Gonzalez, from the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, Commoner Joel E. Abutal, Captain Jerry Simon, Lieutenant Kim Raven Limbo.
Welcome, sir, to the House of Representatives. Sir, yes, sir. The Honorable Floor Leader.
Lastly, Mr. Speaker, may we recognize the municipal officials of Gumaca, Quezon, Mayor Webster Letargo, Vice Mayor Rico Banyal, Councilors Pido Veluz, GJ Ilagan, Juancho Mercado, Gilbert Amier.
Welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, may we now proceed to the next, the approval of journal. I move that we approve journal numbers 8 and 9, dated August 15 and August 16, respectively. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Journal number 8, dated August 15, 2022, and journal number 9, dated August 16, 2022, are hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, we now proceed with the reference of business and request the Secretary General to read the title of the bills and resolutions on first reading together with the communications.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The Secretary General is directed to read the titles of the bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as the communications and committee reports for referral to the appropriate committees.
Reference of business, bills and first reading. House Bill 3578, amending Section 5 of the Dual Citizenship Law by Representative Villanueva.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3579, creating a centralized data system for criminal records from the PNP and NBI by Representative Villanueva.
To the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
House Bill 3580, creating 2 additional municipal trial courts, 1 municipal trial court for Santa Barbara and 1 municipal trial court in Pavia, all situated in Iloilo in the 6th Judicial Region by Representative Goriseta.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3581, declaring January 8 of every year as a local non-working holiday in Pavia, Iloilo in commemoration of its declaration as an independent municipality to be known as Pavia Day by Representative Goriseta.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3582, providing for the creation of mental health centers in every region by Representative Ong Chuan.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3583, establishing the Ronda TESDA Training and Assessment Center in Ronda, Cebu by Representative Calderon.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3584, separating the Badian National High School in Alcantara National High School Extension in Poblacion, Alcantara, Cebu from the Badian National High School, converting it into the Alcantara National High School by Representative Calderon.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3585, creating an additional branch of the Regional Trial Court to be stationed at Mualboal, Cebu in the 7th Judicial Region by Representative Calderon.
To the Committee on Justice.
House Bill 3586, creating the on-site, in-city, near-city, or off-city local government resettlement program for informal settler families, mandating the LGU to provide other basic needs and livelihood components by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Housing and Urban Development.
House Bill 3587, providing for modernization funding for PhilVox by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Science and Technology.
House Bill 3588, providing for additional modernization funding to Pagasa by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Science and Technology.
House Bill 3589, strengthening the implementation and standards of socialized housing projects by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Housing and Urban Development.
House Bill 3590, establishing the Philippine Electronic Health or e-health system and services in support of universal health care by Representative Bernos.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3591, promoting open access in data transmission, providing additional powers and functions to the National Telecommunications Commission by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill 3592, creating a sustainable fiscal framework for the pension system of the military and uniformed personnel by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on National Defense and Security and the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
House Bill 3593, creating the Medical Reserve Corps by Representative Romero.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3594, institutionalizing an ICT officer in all LGUs by Representative Gatchalian.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3595, granting bereavement leave of 3 days with pay to employees in the private and public sector in the event of death of an immediate family member by Representative Manikis.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment and the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3596, amending certain provisions of the Anti-Agricultural Smuggling Act of 216 by Representative Salceda.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 3597, creating the Department of Sports, Culture and Arts by Representative Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Government Reorganization,
House
the,
Bill
the Committee on
3598,
Youth and Sports Development, and the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3598, promoting gender equality and upholding the sanctity of marriage by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill 3599, granting retirement gratuity benefits to appointive and elective barangay officials by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3600, redefining the crime of illegal recruitment committed by a syndicate by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs.
House Bill 3601, removing the public offering requirement of generations companies by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Energy.
House Bill 3602, modifying the prescriptive period of money claims arising from employer-employee relationship by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3603, postponing the barangay and SK elections scheduled on December 5, 2022 to May 8, 2023 by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 3604, providing for poor job applicants a 20% discount in the payment of fees and charges for certificates, clearances, and other documents for employment purposes by Representative Tulfo Ralph Wendell and Tulfo Jocelyn.
To the Committee on Poverty Alleviation.
House Bill 3605, providing for the classification of ranks and positions in the BFP by Representative Bustos.
To the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
House Bill 3606, converting the Kawayan District Hospital in Kawayan City, Isabela into the Central Isabela General Hospital by Representative D. Faustino Ino.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3607, strengthening the National Research Council of the Philippines for the promotion of research work along scientific lines by Representative D. Faustino Ino.
To the Committee on Science and Technology.
House Bill 3608, instituting the Medical Reserve Corps by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3609, providing for the modernization of the public health, emergency preparedness and response capabilities, establishing the Center for Disease Prevention and Control by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3610, establishing the National Framework for Water Resource Management and creating the Department of Water Resources and the Water Regulatory Commission by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Government Organization and the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3611, instituting a national land use policy by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Land Use.
House Bill 3612, institutionalizing the transition of the government to e-governance in the digital age by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill 3613, mandating the institutionalization, development, training, organization, and administration of ROTC in grade 11 and grade 12 in public and private educational institutions by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3614, establishing the Agriculture Information System in all cities and municipalities by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 3615, strengthening the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization.
House Bill 3616, providing for a free annual medical checkup for Filipinos by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3617, establishing Young Farmers and Fisherfolk Challenge Program, creating the Young Farmers and Fisherfolk Challenge Council by Representative Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Agriculture and Food.
House Bill 3618, making the appointment of an Environment and Natural Resources Officer mandatory in all provinces, cities, and municipalities by Representative Palma.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3619, transferring the National Fire Training Institute from the Philippine Public Safety College to the Bureau of Fire Protection by Representative Bustos.
To the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
House Bill 3620, promoting Philippine indigenous and traditional writing systems and providing for their protection, preservation, and conservation by Representatives Mercado, Revilla, Revilla Bryan, and Revilla Ramon Jolo.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill 3621, providing for the institutionalization of free TESDA trainings for out-of-school youth by Representatives Swansing Horacio and Swansing Micaela Angela.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3622, extending the life of the Philippine Aerospace Development Corporation by another 50 years by Representatives Velasco and Singson Mihan.
To the Committee on Government Enterprises and Privatization.
House Bill 3623, granting civil service sub-professional eligibility to employees of the government with at least 5 years of service and professional eligibility to employees of the government with at least 10 years of service by Representative Copilar.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Bill 3624, designating and recognizing the 6th Legislative District of Quezon City as the historical Banlat District of Quezon City by Representative Copilar.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3625, prescribing the mechanisms to facilitate the disposition of idle government-owned lands for socialized housing by Representative Copilar.
To the Committee on Housing and Urban Development.
House Bill 3626, establishing the District 6 Quezon City TESDA Training and Assessment Center by Representative Copilar.
To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 3627, encouraging corporate social responsibility by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3628, to arrest the rising cost of petroleum products, protect the welfare and alleviate the burden of the consuming public by imposing progressive rates of the payment of the excise tax on petroleum products by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Ways and Means.
House Bill 3629, increasing the limits for election campaign spending by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms.
House Bill 3630, upgrading the Misamis Oriental Provincial Hospital in Gingoog City, Misamis Oriental, into a Level 2 regional hospital to be known as the Gingoog Regional Medical Center, increasing its bed capacity from 50 to 250 beds by Representative Unabia.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill 3631, converting the Claveria-Balingguan Bypass Road in Misamis Oriental into a national road by Representative Unabia.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
House Bill 3632, institutionalizing the Mentor Me program for MSEs and classifying as organic employees of the DTI the business counselors of the negosyo centers by Representative Unabia.
To the Committee on Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development.
House Bill 3633, protecting traditional knowledge, traditional cultural expression, and genetic resources by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill 3634, promoting the welfare of employees by defining rest hours by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 3635, granting a 50% discount from local government business fees and taxes to small businesses which use solar energy for electricity in its daily operations by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 3636, establishing a rental subsidy program for informal settler families by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Housing and Urban Development.
Resolutions. House Resolution 232, expressing the profound sympathy and sincerest condolences of the House of Representatives to the bereaved family of the late Maria Lydia de Vega Mercado and bestowing highest congressional honors for the pride and glory she has brought to our country as an athlete by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 233, congratulating and commending the Ateneo Blue Eagles men's basketball team with their coaches for their outstanding representation of the country in winning the World University Basketball Series held in Tokyo, Japan by Representative Hernandez.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 234, congratulating and commending the Philippine Women's National Football Team, also known as Filipinas, for qualifying in the 2023 Women's FIBA World Cup in Australia and New Zealand by Representative Hernandez.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 235, urging the House to investigate on the rising generation costs resulting to higher electricity rates by Representative Dagook and De Jesus.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 236, directing the Committees on Transportation and Metro Manila Development to inquire on the different issues raised by operators, owners, and drivers of public and private motor vehicles and the implementation of the no-contact apprehension policy by Representative Bosita.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 237, urging the Committees on Local Government, Metro Manila Development and Transportation to conduct public hearing and investigate the issues raised against the no-contact apprehension policies implemented by LGUs and MMDA and identify the areas needed to be improved, changed, or modified for the benefit of motorists and the commuting publics by Representative Rillo.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 238, expressing profound sympathy and sincere condolences on the House on the passing of Filipina sprint legend Maria Lydia de Vega Mercado and honoring the distribution to Philippine sport contribution.
To the Committee on Rules.
By Representative Kumaran. House Resolution 239, enjoining and directing the Committees on Human Rights, Basic Education and Culture, and Higher and Technical Education to jointly inquire on the unauthorized and illegal issuance of Memorandum Number 2022-0663 by the Komisyon sa Wikang Pilipino, banning from libraries and schools 5 books in the Filipino for being subversive and anti-government by Representative Lagman.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 240, congratulating and commending sports youth athletes Chino and Sydney Tanconchan siblings for winning gold medals in Sambo Competition 2022 by Representative Nograles, Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Bill 241, expressing commendation and congratulations to Satar Salem of Sultan Naga Dimaporo, the fastest Filipino Ironman finisher, for being the fastest finisher in the Bohol 5150 by Representative Dimaporo City Amina and Dimaporo Muhammad Khalid.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 242, strongly urging the House to foster sustainable environment-friendly practices in order to institute a green governance office and serve as a role model for other government institutions to emulate by Representative Singson Ronald.
To the Committee on Ecology.
House Resolution 243, strongly urging the increase of funds to be appropriated to the Philippine Coast Guard for fiscal year 2023 to allow it to establish a PCG Regional Training Center at Paluan, Occidental Mindoro by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Resolution 244 is strongly urging the increase of funds to be appropriated to PCG for fiscal year 2023 to allow it to establish a Coast Guard response base at Paluan, Occidental Mindoro by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Resolution 245 strongly urging the House to increase the funds to be appropriated to the PCG for fiscal year 2023 to allow it to increase its intelligence fund to 150,463,750 pesos by Representative Tariela.
To the Committee on Transportation.
House Resolution 246 congratulating and commending Ernest Jan E.J. Obiena for winning the first medal of the Philippines in the World Athletics Championship and setting a new ASEAN record in pole vault in the 2022 World Athletics Championship in Eugene, Oregon, USA by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 247 expressing the profound sympathies and condolences by the Filipino people for the passing of Lydia de Vega Mercado by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Bill 248 congratulating and commending Juna Chuki for winning the gold medal in the 50-kilogram event in karate in the 2022 World Games held in Birmingham, Alabama, USA by Representative Tolentino.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 249 expressing the profound condolences of the House to the family of Ms. Lydia de Vega Mercado by Representative Del Mar.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 250 urging the national government through the Department of Agriculture, DPWH, DAR, and DOT to allocate 1 billion pesos in each and every agriculture-based district for the construction and repair of farm-to-market road by Representative Teves Arnulfo.
To the Committee on Public Works and Highways.
Communications, letters and emails from certain local chief executives and officials transmitting to the House of Representatives copies of their reports on fund utilization and status of program, project, activity, implementation relative to Bayanihan, grant to provinces, local government support fund, and financial assistance for certain months of 2021 and 22.
To the Committee on Transportation, on Appropriation.
Email dated May 31, 2022 of the DOLE International Labor Affairs Bureau providing the House with copies of individual reports of the Philippine Overseas Labor Office in the Asia and Pacific region for the period of July to December 2021.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
Letter dated June 1, 2022 of the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, Director General. Copy furnished the House, furnishing the COA acting chairman a copy of their agency action plan and status of implementation as of June 1, 2022, and the audit observations and recommendations for the calendar year 2021.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Email dated June 3, 2022 of the NEA Finance Services Department submitting to the House a copy of their report on the receipt and utilization of Disaster Risk and Reduction Management Fund sourced from the General Appropriations Act for the month of May 2022.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated June 6, 2022 of the Municipal Mayor of Sabtang, Batanes informing the House that their quarterly physical and financial report on the locally funded projects was posted on their official Facebook account.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated June 7, 2022 of the COA, Director 4, Cluster 3, National Government Audit Sector, transmitting to the House a copy of their annual audit report on the House for the year ending December 31, 2021.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Letters dated June 9, 2022 of the PSP Acting Deputy Director and dated June 13, 14, and 22, 2022 of the BSP Deputy Director, Office of the General Counsel and Legal Services, transmitting the House duly certified copies of certain BSP issuances.
To the Committee on Banks and Financial Intermediaries.
Letter dated June 13, 2022 of DOTR, Undersecretary for Finance, transmitting to the House certain financial reports for the month of May 2022.
To the Committee on Appropriations.
Letter dated June 14, 2022 of the COA, Commissioner Officer in Charge, submitting to the House a copy of their performance audit report and the follow-up on the performance audit and the disaster risk preparedness program of Malabon City, which may also be accessed at the COA website.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Annual audit reports on certain water districts for the year ending December 31, 2021.
To the Committee on Public Accounts.
Annual audit reports on certain state universities and colleges for the year ending December 31, 2021.
To the Committee on Public Accounts. What is the pleasure of the Honorable Majority Floor Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move for the suspension of session for a few minutes. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the guests of the Philippine Congress coming from the city of Lucena, headed by Barangay Captain Virgilio Garcia, Kagawad Severio Aguilar, Kagawad Bonifacio Camilon, Kagawad Mario Seta, Kagawad Marciano Cepillo, Barangay Secretary Veronica Luestrio, Barangay Treasurer Sherry Mendoza, NGO Representative Ms. Domingo De Sena, Ms. Benny Kwasay, NGO Representative, and SK Chairperson Sheila Manalo.
Welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move for 1 minute suspension.
Session suspended.
Humingi na kami ng clearance for adjournment.
Session is resumed. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, last August 3rd, 2022, the House elected Rep. Ramon N. Guico Jr. as member of the Commission on Appointments. I move that we designate Rep. Guico as head of the House contingent of the Commission on Appointments. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the majority, I move that we elect the following members to the various committees as follows. To the Committee on Agrarian Reform as Vice Chairperson, Yulo Emilio Bernardino L. To the Committee on Agriculture and Food as Vice Chairpersons, Villafuerte Miguel Luis R. Nava Ma Lucille L. To the Committee on Appropriations as Vice Chairperson, Loyola Roy M. Vice, Duavit Michael John R. To the Committee on Aquaculture and Fisheries Resources as Vice Chairperson, Domingo Danny A. To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture as members, Tan Keith Micah Attorney Mike D.L. Colliantes Ma Teresa V. Coanco Jaime D. To the Committee on Economic Affairs as members, Maceda Edward Vera Perez, Coanco Jaime D. Del Mar Rachel Margarita B. Fuentabella Arnulf B. Loyola Roy M. To the Committee on Energy as Vice Chairperson, Tanchay Caroline L. As members, Alvarez Mercedes K. Coanco Jaime D. Ortega Francisco Paulo VP. Del Mar Rachel Margarita B. Soriano Jeffrey. To the Committee on Flagship Programs and Projects as Senior Vice Chairperson, Zamora Maria Carmen S. To the Committee on Foreign Affairs as Vice Chairperson, Tariela Leodi ODF. To the Committee on Games and Amusements as member, Robes Florida Rida P. To the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability as Vice Chairperson, Soriano Jeffrey. To the Committee on Health as members, Salo Ron P. Alvarez Mercedes K. and Verga Wilfrido Mark M. To the Committee on Higher and Technical Education as member, Domingo Danny A. To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology as Vice Chairpersons, Pimentel Johnny T. Romualdo, Jordin Jesus M. Yulo, Emilio Bernardino L. As members, Rama Eduardo R. Gomez Richard I. To the Committee on Justice as member, T. Alan Yu. To the Committee on Local Government as member, Domingo Danny A. To the Committee on Overseas Workers Affairs as member, Lacson Virgilio S. To the Committee on Public Works and Highways as members, Tariela Leodi Odi F. Rivera Noel Bong N. To the Committee on Ways and Means as member, Soriano Jeffrey. To the Special Committee on Basis Conversion as member, Tariela Leodi Odi F. To the Special Committee on Land Use as Vice Chairperson, Tariela Leodi Odi F. To the Special Committee on Nuclear Energy as Vice Chairperson, Kimbo Stella Luz A. As members, Yu Jaisel Victoria C. Teves Arnolfo Arnie Jr. A. Romualdo Nurdin Jesus M. Tulfo Ralph Wendell P. Bautista Claude P. Salo Ron P. Estrella Robert Raymond M. Acharon Loreto B. Celeste Arthur F. Tan Keith Micah Attorney Mike D.L. To the Committee on Appropriations as member, Lagman Edsel C. To the Committee on Energy as chairperson, Velasco Lord Alan J.Q. To the Committee on Foreign Affairs as chairperson, Arenas Ma Rachel J. To the Committee on Health as chairperson, Gato Siriaco Jr. B. To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology as chairperson, Tiangco Tobias Reynald M. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no more business for today, I move that we... Mr. Speaker, last Monday, August 15, 2022, we adopted House Resolution number 231, conveying the profound condolences of the House of Representatives to the family of Miss Lydia de Vega Mercado, Sprint Queen of Asia and one of the greatest Filipino athletes of all time. I move for the consolidation of similar measures, namely House Resolutions number 232, 238, 247, 249, 260, 262, 264, and 268 with House Resolution number 231. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the additional reference of business and request that the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first readings. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to proceed with the reading of the items in the reference of business.
Additional reference of business resolutions. House Resolution 251, urging the PhilHealth to include all types of cancer in the list of diseases and ailments covered by its health care program, by Representative Salo.
To the Committee on Health.
House Resolution 252, directing the House Committee on Health to inquire on the utilization of the 2022 budget for the National Integrated Cancer Control Program and Cancer Assistance Fund, by Representative Salo.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 253, condemning the red tagging committed by several commissioners of the Komisyon sa Wikang Pilipino and of the Sunshine Media Network International News of several authors and their works, and the illegal book Purging ordered by the KWF, by Representative Casto Franz, Brosas, and Manuel.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Resolution 254, expressing profound sorrow of the House of the death of Fidel Valdez Ramos, 12th President of the Republic of the Philippines, and honoring his contributions to the country, by Representative Arenas.
To To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 255, congratulating and commending our Team Philippines Paralympic sports athletes for participating in 2022 ASEAN Para Games in Jakarta, Indonesia, by Representative Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 256, congratulating and commending August Benedicto, triathlete, for winning in M35 to 39 category of the 2022 Mega World Cebu Ironman 7.3, by Representative Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 257, congratulating and commending Charily Suarez, Filipino Olympian boxer, for retaining the World Boxing Association Asia Super Featherweight title, by Representative Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 258, congratulating and commending triathlete Ines Santiago for winning in F40 to 44 category of 2022 Mega World Cebu Ironman 70.3,
To the Committee on
by
Youth and Sports.
Representative Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports Development.
House Resolution 259, urging the House Committee on Government and Public Accountability and the Committee on Agriculture and Food to immediately conduct a joint inquiry on the illegal issuance by the Sugar Regulatory Administration of Sugar Order Number 4, Series of 2021 to 2022, and the bungled attempt to import sugar, by Representative Libanan.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 260, honoring the memory and legacy of ASEAN Sprint Queen Lydia de Vega Mercado and expressing profound sympathy and sincere condolences of the House on her passing, by Representative Gintu and Nograles Margarita Ignacia.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 261, expressing the profound sympathy and sincere condolence of the House on the death of former President Fidel Valdez Ramos, by Representative Villanueva.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 262, expressing the profound sympathy and sincere condolence of the House on the death of Lydia de Vega Mercado, by Representative Villanueva.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 263, urging the national government and the DOH to study and allow the vaccination of children within the age group from 3 years to below 5 years of age against SARS, COVID-2, as one of the most vulnerable age group, by Representative Defensor.
To the Committee on Rules.
Expressing profound condolence of the House on the demise of Ms. Lydia de Vega Mercado, by Representative Olivares.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 265, expressing strong support to the call of the DSWD to impose appropriate sanctions to individuals who submit fake documentary requirements to request for assistance, by Representative Plato.
To the Committee on Social Services.
House Resolution 266, commending and congratulating Filipino boxer Dave Mark Doberman Apolinario, who comes from Maasim, Sarangani Province, for winning the International Boxing Organization flyweight belt, standing undefeated with a record of 17 wins, 0 deaths, and 12 knockouts, by Representative Solon.
To the Committee on Games and
House
Amusement.
Resolution 267, congratulating and commending the Filipinas, the Philippine women's football team, for its recent historic feats, by Representative Cua.
To the Committee on Youth and Sports
House,
Development.
House Resolution 268, honoring the life and legacy of Lydia de Vega Mercado and expressing the heartfelt condolences and deepest sympathy of the House to the bereaved family, by Representative Cua.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 269, urging the Professional Regulation Commission and the Professional Regulatory Board for professional teachers to immediately conduct a special licensure examination for professional teachers for education graduates of batches 2021 and 2022, and to implement measures that will accommodate the graduates of batches 2022 and earlier in taking the LEPTs starting 2023, by Representative Castro Franz, Brosas, and Manuel.
To the Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation.
House Resolution 270, directing the appropriate committee of the House to inquire on the proliferation of artificial intelligence synthesized audiovisual materials, otherwise known as deep fakes, by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 271, expressing the sense of the House, urging the Philippine government to ratify International Labor Organization Convention number 190 on ending violence and harassment at work by Representatives Brosas, Castro France, and Manuel.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Resolution 272, directing the House Committee on Transportation to inquire the mass transit roadmap of the government by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 273, directing the House Committee on Energy to inquire on the service contracts issued by the Department of Energy to energy exploration companies by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 274, directing the House Committee on Information and Communications Technology to inquire to review the existing radio frequency allocation policy and to determine the remaining uncommitted radio frequencies by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 275, directing the appropriate committee of the House to inquire on the irrigation programs and projects implemented by the National Irrigation Administration by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 276, directing the appropriate committee of the House to inquire on the status and distribution of the proceeds from the sale of portions of Metro Manila military camps in accordance with the Bases Conversion and Development Act of 1992 by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 277, directing the appropriate committee of the House to inquire on the update on the implementation of the Bangsamoro Organic Law by Representative Recto.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 278, panghihimok sa mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso na ipalaganap ang kultura sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat ng angkop na letrang baybayin sa palatandaan ng mga gusali, opisina o istruktura sa loob ng mababang kapulungan by Representative Barbers.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Resolution 279, urging the appropriate House Committee to inquire of the unnecessary and cost-inefficient practices of the LTO with regard to its dual concessionaires and its systems projects by Representative Herrera.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 280, directing the Committee on Legislative Franchises to inquire on the alleged foreign ownership of ABC Development Corporation, presently known as TV5 Network Incorporated, which could constitute a violation of its legislative franchise by Representative Palma.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 281, directing the Committee on Legislative Franchises to inquire on the alleged franchise violation by ABC Development Corporation, presently known as TV5 Network Incorporated, due to its block time agreement with the ABS-CBN Corporation by Representative Suarez.
To the Committee on Rules.
House Resolution 282, directing the Committee on Legislative Franchises to inquire on the alleged airing of TV Patrol, a national news program produced by ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation with other networks which could constitute violations of their legislative franchises by Representatives Teves Jose.
To the Committee on Rules. The Honorable Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no business left for today, I move that we adjourn session until next week, the 22nd of August, Monday, 2 p.m. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Session is adjourned until Monday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yung sa ILO yun.